Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is The Lady Sana, and we're here with another episode of our city zoo in Little Asia, the greenhouse that we're building. And in this episode, we're going to build a habitat for the binturong and the Malaysian tapir. But quickly, before we jump into it, let us thank our very first fantastic sponsor of the channel, Instant Gaming. At Instant Gaming, you can get your most favorite games with up to 70, sometimes even 90% discount. If you use the link in the description down below, you will get an amazing discount and you will also be supporting the channel. And to celebrate this awesome collaboration, we are doing a special giveaway where you can win a game of your choice. So just click the link in the description of this video, enter the game or DLC you would like to win, and participate. Good luck! So this habitat will be as low as the proboscis monkey habitat, with the Malaysian tapirs walking on the lowest area and the binturong having all these kind of climbing frames and areas on higher levels of the habitat. So there is a toilet block at the end of this building, and I really wanted to make sure that this one would be a little bit more closed off from the habitat. I'm probably going to add a little bit more to that in a later stage because I still also need to do a lot of detailing around the toilet area itself and around the whole building itself. So that is definitely something we're going to do in the next episode, where we're going to finish off the whole building also on the outside. I wanted to make it look perfect and fitting into the Little Asia area, and yeah, the last bits and pieces that we're going to add in this greenhouse as well, just like custom billboards and stuff. We've already been working a little bit on that during our live stream, which is really funny, and I'm still learning a lot, as I'm not like super good at it or anything like that. But yeah, we're going to use some custom billboards instead of the in-game educational signs and stuff, and hopefully when we're going to do that tour, I am able to create some other things as well, because I'm just super excited for that. So yeah, a tour will be of this area at the next episode. So it was actually quite a struggle to get the keeper gate quite in this habitat. At first, I actually wanted to do it in the curved area underneath the path, but the path was actually too low, so I couldn't really fit that one in. So I had to find another spot for it, and it was in the corner now of the habitat. So basically, behind the toilets, there is going to be an area where the staff can go down towards either the babirusa habitat, which we did in the previous episode, and right now to the binturong and Malaysian tapir habitat. But definitely in these kind of habitats, it's good to pay attention to that, where you want to have your keeper's gate, because if you start building just your habitat later on, you might have some issues with putting down your keeper's gate in a later stage. So definitely try to already plan that one out, or already build it if you are going to build these kind of habitats. So this habitat will also have these extra fences for safety measures around the edge of the habitat, just like we did with the babirusa habitat. And on the left side of the habitat, and on the right side, by the way, you will find these more planter areas, which will give this whole greenhouse more of a tropical vibe to it, which I really love doing. It's definitely something I also got inspired off from the reptile house that we built like ages ago already, it feels like. But yeah, that is definitely inspired also from that particular area. I just really love doing that. So for the habitat itself, we started off with an arch in the middle of the habitat to create some kind of swimming pool area for the tapirs, which is basically going to be closed off on all the sides except where the archway is. So the archway is definitely the area where the tapirs can go into their little pool and out of it, and it's really cool that the guests can also look down into the swimming pool area when they are just going to watch the tapirs. Of course, they love to bathe, so it's definitely going to be a fun experience for our guests to see that super up close. The water is made a little bit more darker in the end, and a little bit more I don't know the word for it anymore, but a little bit more fuzzy, so you can't look through it. I know there's a name for it, but now that I'm talking, I have no idea what the name for it is anymore, but I think you guys all know what I mean. But I think it definitely looks a little bit more realistic like this. And I also made sure that the keeper's gate was obviously not visible for our guests. So around the gate, there will be this cave area for our tapirs and the binturongs to sleep and chill. And above that cave, as I just mentioned, there will be also this planter area for lots of tropical trees and bushes to make it all look more dense and tropical. And the backside of the habitat is going to be in the same style as we did for the proboscis monkey. I just really put down rocks more randomly And we also have like some more flat rocks, which will later also function as like flat areas for platforms, where the Binturong can also climb from one area to the other area in like a playful way, if you can call it that way. And the bag started with some more temple pieces, as you can tell from the speed build, but I later replaced those for some billboards. But I did still use the other non-grid temple pieces for the background because I think it looks just really nice with the combination of the aquatic rocks. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, it just matches really well. So as also mentioned in the previous episode about the bamboo billboards that I'm using in this build, you can download these billboards from my Discord server. The link is in the description of this video, so you can find a chat room called Planet Zoo Billboards, and that is going to be the area where I'm going to upload any billboards that I'm making myself or that I'm downloading and using myself for my zoo. So if you are ever trying to find those, they're all in my Discord server. So at two other areas of the habitat, I also created these more planter boxes for this more tropical and dense feeling of the habitat. This unfortunately does hurt a little bit more of the Malaysian tapir traversable area, to be honest, but in this case I just really wanted to add a little bit more to that. So yeah, I hope the tapirs don't mind. So with most rocks in place, it was finally time to start working on the climbing frames, and I really wanted to make sure there is this whole path going around the whole habitat that the Binturong could follow. Also making sure some of the climbing frames are pretty much horizontal for whenever Frontier decides to add these animations again of the Binturong into the game. So for those that have no idea, I also didn't know, Rudy Rankimmel pointed this out to me. In the trailer of the Southeast Asia Animal Pack, you will see the Binturongs hanging on their tails on climbing frames. So they're hanging upside down on their tails on a climbing frame, ladies and gentlemen. And of which I am sure that I have not seen this in the game myself. I have not seen this animation. I have not seen them doing this. Maybe it's been added while you're watching this video. Maybe they did an update or anything, but I'm pretty sure that they did not add this animation in the game. So probably something is still a little bit buggy or something like that. I'm expecting something like that. I mean, why would you add it in a trailer if you're not going to add it in the game? That just doesn't sound like Frontier. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that there might have been something wrong and they are still working on that. But oh man, I just really want to make sure that whenever it is being updated, that we can see these animations in action. So that's why I have a lot of long logs, like almost horizontal. Obviously, are all a little bit in an angle, but I think they're in an angle, but I think it's not going to matter too much for when we are going to see these animations. But yeah, this habitat is definitely ready for that to return. Just imagine Binturongs hanging above that water section, and the guests can just see that super up close. I think that's going to look super awesome. I have no idea if that's going to happen, but I'm expecting it. I've seen it in the trailer, so I think it's just a matter of time, I guess. So there is a little cabin raised in the middle of the habitat with obviously some hay beddings, and this one is more on the eye level of our guest. And later on, I also decided to add another one a little bit further to the right side and a little bit higher than the first one that I placed. And I also added this one because I actually really felt like I just was missing something at the sight line, if that makes any sense. And I think that last little cabin thingy really fixes that issue, and it looks just so much better in my opinion. So as mentioned, all the climbing beams are basically connected to every section. We have these little ladders and stuff to make sure that the Binturong is really able to climb up everywhere it wants to. And I think that looks just really cute, especially with the little ladders. Like obviously they don't use ladders as we want them to do, but still for the idea, I just really love these small little ladders for them to be able to climb up from all different types of sections to go to other type of areas of the habitat. I have not entirely seen them using it all. That is such a pity, but I just didn't really have time to really look and sit down and see the animals in action and just using everything. But I do really hope that they're going to use these climbing frames more often in the future. And of course, the last thing I added was lots of tropical trees, plants, and bushes everywhere in the habitat. And of course, on the planters I've made for them, I think it definitely gives that really dense and tropical feeling that I'm going for in this greenhouse building. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I really love how this whole habitat has turned out. And obviously I also added some small aquatic rocks around the whole habitat, around the floorings, and of course also the floor of the little swimming pool. So that one is basically almost completely covered with like these small little aquatic rocks. I did have to remove a few bits and pieces here and there because it was hurting the traversable area for the Malaysian tabor too much. But other than that, I think it definitely gives those finishing touches. But talking about finishing touches, the last thing I really did was hang down some roots here and there on the aquatic rocks, which also gave a really nice touch to the rocks, together with some plants. I'm not really sure if it was like only green plants or also like the purple plants. I'm not entirely sure, but it definitely gives that extra little detail towards it. I might be using those roots a little bit more often in a later stage when I'm going to do the final finishing touches of this whole greenhouse. So yeah, you might be seeing them a lot more during the tour that we're going to do. But I'm super excited for this building. As I mentioned in the previous episode, I'm just so much having fun with building this greenhouse, and it's just so different from all the things that we have been doing. And I just notice every time that I'm building these indoor sections, like we had the South America dome, and we had the Arctic area, we had the reptile house, and all these type of buildings where I could go really crazy in. I just really enjoy doing that. It's almost like a pity that like the whole zoo is just not indoors or anything like that. But yeah, it's obviously a little bit the style that I went for with City Zoo. Like, I want the whole zoo to be fitting together, and then sometimes these kind of things just don't really match, in my opinion, on the outside, but they do work really well for the inside. So yeah, it's definitely something I'm enjoying a lot. So I feel like I should just do another indoor section or anything like that for Little Asia. I think that's going to look just super awesome. Maybe also a small little dome or anything like that. If you guys have any suggestions or ideas about that, do let me know in the comments down below. I'm very much open for that. And I hope that you guys understand that I just don't really feel like doing these type of crazy things on the outside in City Zoo. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. And I think definitely on the outside we just need to stay with the Asian style that we're going for. But yeah, I'm really enjoying these type of builds, and it really gives me like these creative boosts that I need. So yeah, I do really hope that you guys also enjoy that, and that I'm able to inspire you with these type of builds. Do let me know in the comments down below, of course. Leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And if you want to support the channel a little extra, you may want to consider to become a FaveFam member with the join button of YouTube, or via Patreon with the link in the description. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all those other social media pages, so definitely go and check out the links in the description down below. And of course, don't forget to check out the giveaway that we are doing with Instant Gaming in the description down below. So yeah, I'm really excited to hear what you guys think so far of the greenhouse and the progress that we're making. Let me know in the comments down below. I really look forward to reading everything, and I really hope to see you guys all in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys!